the practical and composite, like when they put
They were figuring things out.
Yeah. They were.
Yeah, you could tell they saved some money by staying away from a lot of practical stuff. Like there's very little practical dragon in the movie. I think at one point at the end.
When's that movie coming?
Yeah, practical dragons. Now that's a copywritten. That's ours.
Practical dragons.
Practical dragons. But anyway, but there's no practical effect of the dragon until the very end. I think when Quaid's crying over it, right? Mm-hmm. And he's got his head on it, and Draco's finally passing away. Yes, kids, the dragon dies in this movie. Welcome to season 4 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Clif and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
Dark Star, Road Games, Maximum Overdrive, Amongst Friends, Class of 1984, Hell Night, Before Sunrise, 10, Fool's Paradise, and Mazes and Monsters will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you a film that Cliff might like even less. Now, we've covered almost 200 movies, and about 10 of them Cliff hasn't really cared for, so one of them today might be in that area. I don't feel quite the same, but I kind of understand, I think. But anyways, we're back. It's season 4.
First episode. 4. Woohoo!
It's Marty and Clif, and we have guests to start the season out because we're doing a lot more guests this season. And to start things out, it's Derek Schlender.
That's right, Derek.
Hey. Thanks for having me, guys. I apologize for the multiple times you've had to talk to Dylan, but hey, to start your season, sounds like you're going off with a big upgrade. So,
well, I was going to say we went with the better brother to open his season.
You have to, yeah.
For sure.
Primus, he's Segundus, so... If you're familiar with Stardust.
I imagine the two of you in the same household was quite a bit for your mother, is my guess, where she was just like, these boys. Yeah.
Maybe. I feel in some ways it was probably pretty easy because we have similar interests. So it was like, go watch The Simpsons.
Each other occupied. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a younger brother too. So there was always multiplayer video games.
So welcome. I'm really excited to have you on. I have a quick rant I would like to go on.
We are going to be talking about Dragonheart.
Oh, that's right.
And Rollerball from 1975. But those are the movies. But what is your rant? I just wanted to let the people know what we're doing here today.
Perfect. And hey, I know Rollerball was a remake. Did it have the dude from American Pie in it? And
yeah.
And the rapper, what's
was that Bow Wow or something along those lines? I've never seen that.
I want to say it was the dude from Any Given Sunday.
LL Cool J.
Was he in that? I think
you mean the guy from Deep Blue Sea?
Yes. Yes. Anyway, so my rant. So I read that. So I just want to put out in public personally, and I hope he hears it. I would really, I welcome Darren Aronofsky to, at his earliest convenience, take a moment and really vigorously fuck himself.
Oh, my.
Really, really hard.
What happened this time?
He's leaned into the AI. He's releasing an entire AI series about the American Revolution.
Oh, wow.
It's all AI with human voice. And he's saying, well, I'm putting voice actors in it. That's how I'm getting away with it. And being very non-AI, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that he's a very well-known director who's done a lot of high-profile stuff. And here he is moving into the sphere. I don't like it. So I just wanted to, let him know, hey,
wow, that's the first I'd heard of that.
Yeah, you suck. And also, there was a thing in the, I don't normally talk about this type of stuff, but there was a thing in the news this week about the girl who's, she's in Marty Supreme. And she was cast for a new role, and she didn't realize that it was a Latina role, and she's not Latina. And so she turned the role down, right? And there was a big call for more Latin representation, right? And I agree that we definitely need more representation for Latins because I think they represent like 2% of total on-screen time, and they're about 20% of the country. But this idea that an actor can't play a role due to the heritage of the person, to me, seems to be a fallacy. It's really stupid, and it's limiting. right? Like any actor should be able to play any role as long as it's not something where it would be insulting to do so, right?
Right.
I just again want to put that out there and just say, I'm not buying it. But if other people are, whatever. What do I know?
No, I think you're honest on that. And if I can piggyback on that, one of the most outspoken critics of this has been John Leguizamo.
Mm-hmm.
John Leguizamo has been very vocal about it. Well, John,
you're
not an Italian plumber.
Yeah,
exactly. You're not an Italian plumber. And in terms of like casting, I don't know if you remember, but there was a controversy with the movie In the Heights.
Yes.
Saying that it wasn't diverse enough, even though they had cast Hispanic actors. So
right.
I think that's one of those, once you go down that road, you can't win. The only way to come back, meritocracy. Get good actors in good roles. No one cares. Put Denzel Washington in anything.
Yeah, I would watch him paint a house for 2 hours and be like, that was the most brilliant fucking thing I've ever seen. I guarantee it would be awesome.
Got to bring back the meritocracy. So I agree with you, and I'm kind of getting tired of people trying to be like, get their flowers for it.
Yeah, it's just it's getting kind of silly, and I more than anything, it's this whole idea. It's the same thing with if you're going to have an art piece, then it has to have this, it has to do this. When you start demanding what art has to give you, then it's no longer the artist's vision. It's whatever. Then you might as well just go to AI and be Darren Aronofsky and feed it prompts and just get what you want out of it, right? Like you're removing this whole idea of like a bunch of people coming together and making a piece of art that's going to live for quite a while. Anyway,
absolutely.
My rant over, and you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'll cut it out. We'll see. But
it'll all be fed into the liquid book library and the one day anyway.
That we keep in Geneva.
Yeah, and the 19th century will come corrupt anyway. 20th century will become corrupt anyways, and then we'll be.
But we didn't lose much there,
Yeah, no. So those are my rants. Any viewer mail?
No, not this week. I mean, we did notice that
listeners,
Jim Wynorski, that cult movie director, suddenly started talking about the party animal out of nowhere and said that he dated the woman who played Miranda in the movie, which was like,
really?
What? Did you see our post or did somebody else post about that movie? Because I feel like it must have been us, because who the hell else is talking about that thing? But that's not really viewer mail.
So, we should have him on sometime.
I'm thinking about maybe reaching out. That could be interesting to, if nothing else. Director of
trivia upon now you can do trivia about party animal.
Yeah, right.
How much do you know it?
Wasn't Miranda in another movie? Wasn't she? I could have sworn she was in at least one
video for Abracadabra by
music video. Miller. That's what it was. Yeah. Steve Miller's Abracadabra.
Whoa!
We wanted to reach out and grab her. That's what it was.
Anyway, she's been typecast.
So we're starting off the season with a bang.
Whew. Couple of scorchers here for you, kids.
Now, if Drago had gone roller derbying, does he invent Dragon Ball? Because I never watched that cartoon, but
I thought you meant Ivan Drago.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, who else do I know is Drago? Oh yeah, from Rocky.
It's Draco.
It's Draco.
It's
Draco.
No, Ivan Drago in a rollerball would be quite
I must burn you. You want to start with? You guys want to start with Dragonheart?
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
So what is this one very long Monty Python sketch called Dragonheart? I like to think of it that way. I recast it in my mind as just nobody but Python playing every part, and wow, that's a movie I'd like to see.
Now that I would really watch that. Dragonheart, original title, Dragonheart, from 1996, PG-13, an hour and 43 minutes. Here's your log line. The last dragon and a disillusioned dragon-slaying knight must unite to stop an evil king who is granted partial immortality. This is directed by Fast and the Furious franchise creator Rob Cohen, written by Patrick Reed Johnson and Charles Edward Pogue, stars Dennis Quaid, Sean Connery, and Dina Meyer. Let's see your storyline. When a young male king is torturing everyone in the kingdom, a middle-aged male soldier, a young female, and an elderly male dragon team up to put an end to the knight's reign. To do that, they all would have to face some consequences that may change everything.
I mean, eventually we get to that part of the story, but
it takes 30 or 45 minutes to get there.
Oh, at least.
Doesn't it?
Maybe about 20.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, because that's kind of like the middle of the film. So
yeah.
There's a little bit more setup that goes into it. It's a little more nuanced than that. Not by much, but
the most positive thing I have to say about this film is that it has Dina Meyer in it. That's and Pete Postlethwaite.
Yeah.
And
what about
let me see Pete Postlethwaite. Who?
Who's it? Thulis? Is that the guy?
Oh, yeah. He's an excellent actor. He was in Black Hawk Down and some others later. Yeah. He's really good. What's his name?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Give me just a second.
David Thewlis.
That's it. Yeah. Yep. Oh no, I was thinking of Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs is in it as well.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah. And you get Brian Thompson. Little Brian Thompson.
True. Oh yeah, Brian Thompson of Dr. Mordred, Cobra, and Star Trek fame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He's in everything, that guy.
He's one of those background guys that that you see, but you often don't see. They put a makeup effect on him or prosthetic, or he's a stuntman or whatever.
I feel like
Buffy.
He
was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right, yeah. I feel like he's one of the people that fits in this cast, because to me, I'm like,
yes.
Oh, I know you guys had casting problems and Dennis Quaid wasn't your first choice. And man, he tried. He just doesn't belong in the 10th century. Yeah.
First off,
I feel like they should have a British guy instead, right? Doesn't it feel weird to have Americans in this? I know it's fantasy, but
it's he's just not the right guy to play the role. His accent's bad. He's got that. Quaid's great at kind of like giving you that shit-eating grin that he's kind of giving at the camera and to the, the audience is kind of grinning along with him. And, that's why you get great fun things like Inner Space, but this is not for him.
I feel like he's channeling like an inner Harrison Ford here, which is an interesting mashup to Sean Connery, because we're back in Indiana Jones and Last Crusade level almost. I'm like, wouldn't it been weird if Harrison Ford had been in this movie? That would have been really weird.
Because I am quite a big fan of Dragonheart, and you should let people know this was my recommendation.
Yeah.
I own it I bought the 4K, and it has the director's commentary, and of course I listened to it. And they were saying at first, like, Quaid couldn't figure out how to act with nothing there. He didn't know how to sell lines to nothing. And so I guess eventually he ends up settling. He's like, well, I'll just consider it like an internal monologue. And I was like, oh, buddy. but I think there's charm to it. Like I do. I think there's a little bit of charm to it, a little bit of cheese. This is a movie that I would watch like Saturday mornings on the Sci-Fi Channel.
This was a movie you watched as a kid, right?
That makes sense.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it is the first movie that I was compelled to buy in widescreen because there was a display at Suncoast Video that showed how much of the dragon I was missing if I got 4x3.
Okay.
It has a very special place in my heart, as from that point forward, I paid more attention to those things.
Mm-hmm. And now people want to watch Dragonheart on VHS and 4x3.
Yeah, I know. Everything's going backwards. It wasn't even filmed in 4x3, so that's not it. They'd have to pan and scan.
Yeah. Terrible. So 96 is when this movie's made.
Yeah.
And it's that 96 of like when the Middle Ages were clean and shiny, right? And like the CGI kind of ruled the 90s. Like the late 90s is when they figured out the Jurassic Park CGI and they could mimic it in other films cheaper, the technology lost its
That's what I was going to say. This is in the nebulous zone between Jurassic Park and Lord of the Rings, where it's like, this is the standard of what fantasy films are going to be going forward. But this reminds me of like when they were trying to figure out how to make comic book movies before Iron Man, as far as like trying to figure out how to do the fantasy things. And it's got that, that mid-90s
like a Blade
feel to it there. Yeah, like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be a little more forgiving on this because I see that it's in that time period and it's essentially a kid's movie. If I had seen this when I was like 10 to 12, I would have been able to fill in all the rest of like a kid would do and then have that strong nostalgia for it.
I mentioned on an episode, I brought up the Barney Stinson theory of Ewoks and Return of the Jedi, right? And he has this theory that like people born after 1978 hate Return of the Jedi because they fucking hate Ewoks. But if you were young enough to love Ewoks, then you love Return of the Jedi, right? And for Dragonheart, I think it's kind of the same thing. If you grew up watching this movie, you love it. It's the nostalgia of it is awesome. I have those movies from the 80s too, right? Right. But like when you show them to other people, you're like, you're kind of like, oh well, it's a little creaky, it's a little creaky.
But if you think about it, like what movie outside of like Pete's Dragon had a dragon as a talking main character? How do you write for a dragon? How does a dragon interact? So this crawls so a lot of other things can walk, right? Like the how to train your dragons and stuff.
And as you were talking about, like the director was heavily inspired by like, talking about monsters and stuff with his dad, and he kind of wanted to make something that would have that same sense of adventure and fantasy, and something his kid, who has he has a guest appearance in it. He's the little boy who notices the dragon at first and then runs off camera. So he wanted to do something kind of like for the kids in a younger audience, even though it's PG-13 and so
the tone is all over the place. Sometimes he's getting hit in the nuts, and then it's sincere, and then it's what is going on here, and then here's a beautiful shot. So there's so many strange things mixed together.
They couldn't redo a lot or like reshoot a lot because of the cost of the CGI on the dragon. They said it cost something like $16,000 a second.
Ooh, good God.
So, yep. And also it took over 100 days to film. So the weather was changing violently. When they burned the village at the beginning, and it's like that whole battle, that's one continuous take shot from multiple angles because they couldn't afford to build it and burn it again.
So he just got extra cameras and shot the shit out of it.
Shoot everything.
That makes sense.
They spent like all the clothes they made themselves, like all the structures they tried to build themselves. But there's really, they filmed it in Romania. And when you look at Romania, it's like, well, it's not really like that British Arthur Pendragon kind of thing you're looking for. So even like in terms of aesthetics, it doesn't quite read like this is where you would expect to historically find dragons.
Right.
I still like it, but in terms of how it looks, you're right. Tonally, it's
we're kind of all over the place. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. And it feels very Ren Fairish at times, right? Like it's very kind of like, just kind of, it's got that, I don't know, that 90s sort of like, this is what the Middle Ages used to look like. It feels very much like A Knight's Tale.
Like almost, Xena, right? Or something, right?
Those are even more stylized.
In the 90s, you can't tell between a TV movie and a theatrical movie sometimes.
Sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I think that's an issue, too, with them trying to be so authentic. Like, they even planted the type of wheat they would have in a field. I'm like, this is all great for people who are going to listen to the DVD commentary like myself. But, like, these clothes are not high quality. They're not, like, camera ready. So maybe take another pass at it. It doesn't need to be accurate. They tried to explain that the sword fighting was accurate, and we just know that's not true because that sword fighting is weak.
Well, no, terrible. But I think part of what Cox did, he told a pretty good kids fantasy story, right? Like he anthropomorphized the dragon, he made it friendly, he made it some likable to a certain extent. Dennis Quaid's character is relatively likable and is upholding the code. You can't. Yeah. Don't forget the code. It's always about the code, and so for kids especially, I could see that really being attractive. I remember watching this movie. I guess I was 23 when it came out, and thinking, it's not terrible. It was, but now I watch it and I go, oh no.
Well, it's more about like, for me, it's like the king, in his subplot where I'm like, oh, he's just his acting is so like, oh man, it's some harsh directing there, and the bad wigs don't help either.
The bad wigs don't help.
They are bad.
I hated the prince who then becomes the king, and so that's good acting, right? Like it literally was a visceral like, oh, I fucking hate this guy. I'll be really glad when he's dead.
That's true.
I'll be okay with that. So that's good acting for sure, right? To evoke an emotional response. I never realized how much Pete Postlethwaite sounds like fucking Brian Cox, man. Like if you close your eyes, Pete like he sounds like fucking Brian Cox, man. It's really crazy. They both sound like the McDonald's commercial. The
real star, though, of course, is Sean Connery as Draco. Some would say Drago, but that would be incorrect. No, that'd be Rocky IV. If he burns, he burns.
He burns.
But yeah, I just loved the idea of like a talking dragon because like anthropomorphized monsters, talking monsters were very popular when I was growing up. So I like gargoyles, things like this were everywhere. And the idea of a dragon being voiced by Sean Connery, who, even young, we all know who Sean Connery is. We all know he's James Bond, I guess they took hours of footage of him, like every close-up they could get their hands on. So when he would say something, they would then take even like the lateral lisp of Sean Connery and try and put it on the dragon's face to make him more expressive. Because remember, they didn't have, well, they probably did have like some technology to do some facial mapping. It just, with the amount of money they were looking at, no mocap, and they weren't going to spend the money anyway. Just give it to their animators and trust in them. So, I find that to be kind of charming behind the scenes kind of stuff. And again, I'm there as a kid, I'm there for the dragon, and I get a lot of the dragon, and I get a lot of good dragon. So I'm pretty happy with that.
$57 million budget.
That's not bad.
57 million in 96. That's a lot of fucking money. 57 million in 96 is a
22
lot.
22 went to the dragon.
Wow. $35 million.
Yeah, but that was like,
that's a lot of money.
Wasn't it produced by like one of the De Laurentises or something? Like,
it was one of the De Laurentises. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like and subscribe.
I love the ending. I absolutely love the ending where because they do the whole thing about dragons becoming like, joining the constellation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I loved that ending. It's one of my favorite endings. And I love the theme that plays, Randy Edelman's To the Stars. And anyone who's ever heard me talk about it, I mentioned it when I was on Reels and I recommended the movie because I do love the movie. I recommended it specifically because I love Randy Edelman's To the Stars. It's such a great thing. And people who are familiar with Randy Edelman, he also did the soundtrack for Anaconda.
Really?
All that pan flute. Yep. Same guy. So he likes his giant reptile music. But I absolutely love the ending. I love him going up into the constellation. I'm like, I feel good about it at the end. It's like, well, that's why we don't have dragons. They're in the stars.
Yeah. I wanted to shower after it was over because I kind of wanted to get all the feel good off of me. Like it was that's a lot of feel good. But especially in particular, that end really brings it home. And it's, again, if you're at that age where it's a kid's movie or you're, that's perfect. That's exactly the way it should end.
Do you think it would play to a 10-year-old in 2026?
I do. I really do. I think an 8 to 12-year-old would eat this movie. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons and all that shit,
because it is an older film, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think so.
There's enough of a charm to it, right?
I would much prefer.
I mean, they made 5 of them. So.
Pete's Dragon than the new one. So what do I know?
Well, that's true. Pete's Dragon continues too. So
I think a modern kid would have a hard time because there's too many distractions. They won't have an appreciation for it. They're growing up in the Marvel age where everything is nonstop CGI action. So this movie doesn't have enough action to keep it going. It actually has quite a few moments where, like, in this, we find, an actor struggling to talk to nothing, but there's still moments of like dialogue where we learn a lot about the characters just by them communicating. And, because they didn't have the budget for the big action sequences. And most of the time when you have a fight in these kind of movies, like the storyline is kind of progressing to some level, like some small level. The big fight towards the end where, Draco gets, kidnapped, so the plots change then. Even the action sequences where they're scamming the countryside, you do it once as a setup, you do it the second time to be like, this is no longer a sustainable form of revenue. We have to change tack. And of course it leads to all the chaos that follows after that. I don't think a kid is going to be like, well, why are they doing this? Why don't they just fly into the castle and burn the bad guy? It's like people like, why don't they take the eagles in Lord of the Rings? That it's like, you can't just,
because that's not how it works. Because you need to tell a story.
Well, I guess it depends on how many movies has this 10-year-old seen. If they've seen all the modern stuff, they might be a little jaded. But if they've only seen a handful of things, they might.
To me, what I remember as a kid, an 8-year-old to a 10-year-old kid, 11, right around there, was watching, like, especially like if it was animated, I'd watch it. I didn't give a shit what level of animation it was.
TikTok, so
you could go to Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe it's different for kids nowadays.
What I worry
I don't
about,
know. Maybe they're into them. I think if you're a D&D fantasy kid, this is definitely going to be in your rotation at some point.
This is better than that first D&D movie.
Oh, the very first
one?
Fucking sure, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
They finally got it right with that last one, though.
That one was excellent. We covered.
I like that a lot. I like a lot of that one. I don't like all of it, but I like it a lot more than I was expecting to, based on like trailers and previews and stuff. So it ended up being a lot more I did enjoy it more. They really got like the class and character kind of stuff.
They got a lot of things right. They got a lot of things right. A lot that the other movies did not get right at all.
But that's it. I just wanted to talk about Dragonheart because, like I said, if it hadn't been for Dragonheart, I'd still be watching things in 4:3,
Right.
At a young age, and I would not have started to pay attention to those, finer details. And from that point forward, it was like widescreen all the time, and I just wanted to bring that, just to talk about that.
And it's an important movie too, because it leads to, it's one of those cogs in the wheel of progress to the modern fantasy film.
The composite stuff too, as well, like the practical and composite, like when they
were figuring things out here.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, you could tell they saved some money by staying away from a lot of practical stuff. Like there's very little practical dragon in the movie. I think at one point at the end,
just the mouth.
Yeah, practical dragons. Now that's a copywritten. That's ours.
Practical
dragons. But anyway, but there's no practical effect of the dragon until the very end. I think when Quaid's crying over it, right, and he's got his head on it, and Draco's finally passing away. Yes, kids, the dragon dies in this movie. There is Marty loves to talk about gross out humor. This has got it. With that dragon hawking a freaking loogie on Dennis Quaid.
Oh yeah, at least it's minor though. It happens. It's not like through the whole movie.
Hilarious. Yeah, that wig that they put on poor Dina and Quaid.
Her wig is so inconsistent.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's just so.
It's because of that 100-day shoot, man.
Yeah,
because they're doing things out of sequence, and there's just they just didn't have. They joke in the commentary about how at the end they had UN shirts made for them because they had like a 23 nation crew of just like artisans and everybody doing this. And they said, well, we couldn't speak the same language, but we were brought together by art. And I was like, well, I'm sure there was probably some missed
and money.
Then. And money. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a job. That's
it's absolutely a job. You remember when they finally go to Avalon, right? And they're standing around looking at everything. Why is Avalon lit like it's a tourist attraction? It's lit like it's the pyramid of, like we're, the pyramids of Giza at night, where I'm just like, it looks like people are going to walk by and then stop by the gift shop to buy some King Arthur merchandise.
It's
what I mean?
Clean 90s fantasy world. Like
it is. It totally
is. Aesthetic. They're not going to change that halfway through.
Absolutely. Well,
you know what Lucy Lawless says? When you notice a detail like that, a wizard did it.
Right.
Okay. Sure.
It's a Simpsons joke. But yeah.
There's a very, very Willow influence in this too. I feel there's a lot of Willow in here too.
Well, Star Wars.
I think that's fair.
Too.
Yeah.
And because they were very proud of themselves that the hero also like wears black and the villain wears white, and they're like, we've subverted tropes.
Have you not seen
really.
Lady Hawk? I mean, it's the same thing,
really.
And that's. I wonder if this movie, speaking of Lady Hawk, if they had done what Lady Hawk did and said, we're not going to worry about anachronistic shit. We're going to kind of go with our own thing in our own style and do our own, like A Knight's Tale, right? And I'm not saying.
Right.
Give it a look, give it a feel, give it a style, decide on a theme and a sort of a palette for the film and just fucking go for it. I wonder what that would have been like. I wouldn't have mind seeing that, taking a stab at that.
I wonder
just brighter colors.
Just in general, just like cooler suits of armor and, different tapestries or whatever,
Well, there's 4 other Dragonheart movies. It makes me wonder, are those, I know they're direct to video and stuff, but maybe they were left alone and maybe had the time to do what, so maybe they're a little more together. I'm kind of curious in a way,
Maybe we tortured Derek by bringing him back one at a time.
Yeah, I'll watch them
and torture him by bringing him back for every time he comes back. It's a new
Dragonheart and Rollerball remake.
Oh God.
Shortest episode ever. Well, we're here, single gunshot in the distance, audio cut.
And it's a score.
By the way, you talk about too much space where like action sequences and like, too much space or whatever. Rollerball is just like, my God, we'll get there.
Well, we'll get there. But
yeah, holy shit.
So I don't mind the CG in this movie because to me it's like he's like a big cartoon. He's like Pete's dragon, and he kind of looks like Jabba from the special edition and part the way the scales move. Well, there's not like it's horrible, but there's a similarity in how the animation is progressing, is what I mean. But I don't mind it. I'm like, he's just a big cartoon, so I don't. It doesn't make me like hate it or anything. So
it's holding up better than The Faculty, I think.
Right. That one's a little because more.
The Faculty, the alien is supposed to be otherworldly and unbelievable, and the
looks more like Sega Dreamcast. Yeah,
the effects over time have kind of failed it, but you're right. The Draco is more of that kind of.
Let's be careful about Sega Dreamcast bashing. Take a look at this.
Wow.
Hallmark keepsake.
Hallmark keepsake Dreamcast.
I love the Dreamcast, man. The 90s, man. 1999.
Let's see. I love Pete Postlethwaite doing his best Friar Tuck Little John. He goes from being the priest who doesn't want to kill anybody to being kind of this, like I said, Little John, Friar Tuck, kind of whipping everybody's ass type guy. It's a lot of fun. He's the guy that shoots the bow, and hits the target to knock down the trunk, the tree trunk and all this type of stuff,
Oh, yeah. Interesting thing, I guess the scallop shell means he had completed a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Yes, and I guess if you were like a monk or friar or whatever it is at the time, if you completed it, you get the scallop shell, and that's how they would recognize each other as having gone on like pilgrimage, I guess you would call it.
Huh.
Right?
Well, that's fascinating.
So
that is an
little details they throw in that, But again, I would have had a better stylized wardrobe as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think just lean
because it looks cheap.
Yeah, leaning into it, not worrying about trying to be realistic to whatever century that you're trying to recreate, and just going for it and doing something maybe just a little cooler looking. Again, much like Lady Hawk did, where they weren't really worrying about.
But there's not 5 Lady Hawk movies, though. There's 5 Dragonheart, so somebody did something right.
5 Lady Hawk movie. Okay. This movie did very well in the theater. 150 million worldwide gross. It opened to 50 million.
That reminds me, I saw it on videotape later that year because it came out in like November that year. I had to look back. I'm like, did I see it with those people? Because I'm like, no, that fits in that timeline. So the people I watched it with, I thought it was okay when I saw it. It didn't, but the people I watched it with were like, oh. And now when I look at it now, I'm like, oh, I kind of see a little what they were groaning at. I don't feel exactly the same way, but I kind of, like almost like, what? That was fine, But
it's
leaning into the king a little there.
It's definitely one of those films where the graphics are helped. Again, we've talked about this by the opacity of a screen and the fact that not all the light that hits the screen in a big theater bounces back towards you.
Yeah.
You lose about 20 to 25% of it, and that actually helps the image.
And you saw this in the theater.
It sells the effect. Yes, it sells the effect. And so, a lot of directors and a lot of filmmakers count on that, especially back in the day. They really counted on, Lucas counted on that for a lot of those Star Wars, battles, because he's, they're framing that stuff in one piece at a time, which is why when you get the film on DVD, you're like, whoa, look at this. This is, what are all these boxes around these TIE fighters, around these X-Wings? Weird. But yeah, so I'm sure in the theater, it definitely looked a lot better. It really sold better in the theater as far as that goes. I think a lot of these 90s movies did not transfer to DVD very well. I don't think that they were really prepared for that, what the film was going to look like from the screen to the DVD. You know what I mean?
The Blu-ray of this looked good, though.
Yeah, it looked fine. Yeah. I think they've kind of cleaned it up and probably run some sort of thing through it to kind of help it a little bit. But I remember the DVD not looking super great.
Yeah, I had it on VHS, which the widescreen edition, as I famously said earlier. But I have the 4K, and I have a 4K player, and I have a projector.
Okay.
So I do project these things onto the screen. So I do get the HDR as well as like the projector with some of that light loss, like you were talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it looked fine.
Actually, that looks great.
I mean, it probably looks the same. You know what? In my memory, they all look the same all the time anyway. So it's like in the moment, I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh, for me, Star Wars
is
Star Wars. I don't care. Raiders is Raiders. Yeah. It's always going to look fucking great. I don't care if I can see the glass with the Cobra or not. It's a shit.
Yeah.
There's glass in front of the Cobra. Spoiler.
Oh boy. Again.
Now we're back to Cobra.
With screen, selling the shot.
Brian Thompson in Cobra. I'm sorry. I watched Cobra this week, so I've been getting a lot of Brian Thompson this week. So I know it's weird. I'm like, there he is in Dragonheart. There he is in Cobra. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. But
does a knock at your door? Don't answer.
Christ, Brick.
He's known to sneak in through windows. So, Cliff, if you weren't as sick as a dog, would this movie have sat on your head nearly as much, or would you have been a little more like, it's fine? But being completely on death's door for 2 weeks, did that make this a harder watch?
Yeah. So for those listeners, if you don't know, so 2 weeks ago, I caught COVID or a really bad cold, and I was down for about 3 or 4 days, and I started feeling better, and then Snowmageddon hit us, and I was snowed in, and I got out one time on Sunday, one friggin' time, and I came home, and Monday I wake up and I've got the fucking flu, and I had the flu all week. So I've just been sick for 2 weeks. And then I watched Dragonheart, and I have to admit, I just watched the shit out of it because I was so miserable, and it got under my skin so bad. Dennis Quaid, I just wanted to smack the shit out of Dennis Quaid for this whole fucking movie. I was just like, get off the fucking screen. And I love Dina Meyer. Thank God she's in it. And I love Pete Postlethwaite. I love a lot of these actors are fantastic. It was just, you're right. Probably because I was sick. Like, no, I don't think I would. But for my sick watch, I have to give it a 1 star. I don't think I'm going to watch it again. I don't think I'm going to get better and try and watch it again. I'm going to do that to myself. It just wasn't for me.
Well, when I look at it through the lens of as a kid's movie, I would say a 3. But for me personally, I'm going 1.5 because there was a lot of slogs in between. The action movie felt very long. But like I said earlier, it's a very interesting watch because part of the movie is like, what is going on? And there's other parts where like, damn, that's a really good scene. How are these existing in the same movie? But it's one of those where it feels like, to my earlier statement, you ended up with the cast that you could get at the time, because it feels like sometimes movies have to get made because there's contracts and there's money.
Because the money's there.
And you can't get who you want. You get who's around and you make the movie and you hope for the best. And hey, this got 5 movies for it. So
yeah, we talked about CBGB being like that, where it was like, we got the money, we got to make the movie. And yeah. But I mean, I would say, like, again, I can see people like who caught this movie as a kid. This is the type of movie that when you catch it young, you grow up with it. It's one of those 5.
Because I have movies like that too.
Yeah. And that's for Derek's face, because he's been making a face his entire. He's been like, "What the fuck?"
Here we go again, like bringing the guests, and they bring us their favorite movie, and we're like,
it's not my favorite movie by any stretch of the imagination. All right, if I had to rank it, 5 stars, no notes. Just kidding. Right. No, it's a 3-star movie. If I'm generous, it's a 3-star movie, but it's the type of movie that I really still enjoy watching, like these cheesy kind of like thrown together. Like I feel, and the reason why is I feel like for as cheesy and as, like slapdash as it is, and it does, you can see that the production kind of got away from it. It feels like and I use this word a lot, it felt very earnest. Like I really can tell they tried to make this movie the way they wanted to. And that's why the production probably took too long. And that's probably why they just had to, sacrifice some things. But it feels like an earnestly made movie where they just wanted to make a story about the last dragon and the dragon hunter coming together to stop a king, and it's like, it feels like they accomplished that. Like I said, I love the soundtrack, still listen to it. Love the ending, even though you had to get all the feel good off of me. But I mean, that's kind of how you want your fairy tales to end. You want them to end somewhat positive.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, but yeah, I enjoy it. And I enjoy the fact that, like I said, it's an earnest movie.
Much like the other movie today, I feel like there's a good movie hiding in there, but maybe it didn't completely come out, but you can feel what they were going for, right?
I think it'd be easier to fix Rollerball than it would be to fix Dragonheart. I think so too,
because I think with Rollerball, what you need is an aggressive editor. Like you need to get in and make some cuts on that movie. You need to get in and make some cuts on that movie. Dragonheart, you need to maybe do some, like you said, we need to maybe change the wardrobe. We got to do some production redesign. Then we've got to maybe change a couple actors even. We got to get Dennis Quaid the fuck out of there. It's just not his part. But if we bring in the right actor, that movie can work really well.
That's why I'm curious about the sequels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think those are good.
Derek.
I will find them. I don't even know if they're on high definition. It's just going to be, I'm going to have to buy DVDs.
There's a Blu-ray box set. There's a Blu-ray set of it. Like you could,
like Critters. I can buy that in Critters at the same time.
But again, I'll say this. I have movies that I know are 1-star movies that I just like that I love.
Yeah.
I grew up and I'm just like, fucking
that's why you got to talk about them.
Called The Party Animal.
And that's what your show is great at.
That's a good example of a 1-star.
That's a great example. And honestly, it was a fun kind of rewatch. I hadn't seen Dragonheart since it came out, 96, so that was great. But moving on to Rollerball.
Rollerball. So in the time period before skateboards became cool, we were momentarily obsessed with roller skates. No inline skates either. I wonder if the remake has those. What is Rollerball 1975, Cliff?
Rollerball 1975, rated R, 2 hours and 5 minutes. A corporate dictator tries to oust the star player of a brutal 21st century spectator sport. Let's see here. Storyline. In a futuristic society where corporations have replaced countries, the violent game of Rollerball is used to control the populace by demonstrating the futility of individuality. However, one player, Jonathan E., rises to the top, fights for his personal freedom, and threatens the corporate control.
Oh, okay.
Tagline: it's more than just a game.
It's a way of life.
Fucking
it's
directed by Norman Jewison of all fucking people, and starring James.
When I looked that up, I was like, no way.
Yeah, the guy who did Moonstruck and In the Heat of the Night and The Hurricane and Agnes of God and Fiddler. He did Fiddler, for fuck's sake, and he brings us Rollerball.
Sort of Logan's Run looking 70s aesthetic, right?
It's
remember when the future was the 70s?
It's the dirtiest looking like the past in Dragonheart is cleaner than the future in fucking Rollerball. That's the weirdness of these two movies, the juxtaposition of these two films. I turn on Rollerball and I'm like, why is this dirtier than Dragonheart? Why does this feel like
again? What's going on?
It just feels like there's like toxic shit in the air constantly when I watch this movie. It just feels like it's covered in smog.
Like Cobra. But
yeah, that's a good point. I think that was just the 70s.
I think it's those lenses and the way the film stock, I think, is part of it too. Yeah.
Definitely the lenses and film stock. Again, I listened to the director commentary. I don't know why I did this to myself, but he's very proud of the way that they filmed it. So we'll talk about it later, but I did. So I watched the movie twice in a very short amount of time.
The arena where they filmed this is in Germany, which is really cool because it's one of the only round arenas where they could actually go in and do this and build this cool arena. And I also read that the sport was so popular that the stuntmen and the extras would play it like during setups when they were waiting to shoot. They would actually play this game, and there was talk of trying to create leagues after it came out, which I guess horrified the director because the director was like, "This is about like violence and about like
we're not going to play it that way. We're just going to try to score and roll around a circle."
Yeah.
I can't really follow the game. I don't think you're supposed to be able to follow the game. It's just they're rolling around and making scores and anything goes. Like when the people are watching the highlights on the TV, some of the TVs are just like blurry footage spinning around. And I'm like, is this just an indictment of professional sports? What is going on here?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah. It's like a futuristic North Dallas 40.
So he says, Norman says in the commentary that he was noticing that professional athletes were starting to make more money than they had any right to do so. Like that they hadn't really seen in the past. There'd always been celebrity, but they were starting to get outrageous contracts. And this is kind of what they thought like in the 70s would happen if a certain player became more popular than the sport, which is hilarious because he was doing the commentary in 1997. So like Michael Jordan had already become basketball, so it's like they were kind of right.
I'm a Thunder fan, and they just gave SGA $275 million for a 5-year contract. He's one of the highest paid players in the NBA. It's unbelievable the amount of money these guys are making. Mm-hmm.
And they also correctly predicted how AI kind of works.
Yeah.
And how it gets frustrated. And,
yeah, this weird thing that corrupts itself and can't answer correctly and is confused a lot of times. Yeah.
The early Zoom call. Now all they have is a bunch of TV sets lined up, but then they all go out. It's like that's a pretty good approximation as to what the Zoom call would be. You know, that's pretty good for 51 years ago.
True. Yeah, true. It's like
the TV of the future. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, multiple TVs was the TV of the future.
The TV of the future, it's like having a control room in your living room. You get to see all the shots.
And it goes to every room.
And it's not just for rollerball viewing; it's for viewing your ex-wife and random montage sequences.
Oh yeah, he's got a whole like DVD collection.
He knew what the internet would be for: stalking your ex.
Stalking your ex.
He gets a lot of things eerily correct.
And porn, stalking your ex and porn. This movie is like Death Race 3000 meets Whip It. It's the best way I can put it. If you've seen Whip It, the Drew Barrymore movie, yeah. About the little girl who wants to be in roller derby, and then put Death Race 3000 in that. And you pretty much get this movie, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Then 10 years later, you get Solar Babies.
Oh, now
they got the little ball and the rolling.
That is a perfect example of something that is a horrible movie that I love. I will watch over and over again.
But you know what they don't get right about the future?
Way worse than Dragonheart. Go ahead.
There's no DNR. There's no do not resuscitate. Look, if you're playing this sport, you're signing this shit off. Your teammate's not going to have to sign pull the plug.
Yeah.
Where's the DNR? Maybe they didn't think that way 50 years ago. That is true too. It's a different time. So.
Yeah,
you would think why would it go to the teammate? Why wouldn't the corporation be like, his contract is void? He's done.
Yeah.
I love how you have to hold the ball up at all times when you're carrying it, and it's legal to smash somebody in the fucking face with it if you need to. And they show you that this ball weighs 10, 15, 20 pounds. So like this is a heavy metal object that you're going to get your brains bashed in with.
Oh yeah.
It's also like North Dallas 40 or Semi Tough meets THX 1138. I have a lot of I have a lot of elevator pitches for this movie. But yeah, did anybody see the remake?
No.
I feel like I did, but I don't remember it.
I feel like I did too, but I can't remember it. And I want to say it had the dude from American Pie in it.
It does. Yeah. I don't think it has any kind of edge to it is the thing. It's just kind of there, you know.
Yeah. No. Who's the girl? Is it Rebecca Roget?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine.
She has a certain mystique to her, some would say. No, I know. I'm sorry. I'll show myself out.
Oh, mystique. Oh,
and man. I was like, this is going to be some futuristic action-packed thing, you know? And you go, oh, that was kind of a bummer, man.
John McTiernan directed it?
Yeah, it stars fucking Jean Reno, dude.
What? Yeah.
And LL Cool J.
Yeah, we might have to revisit
Chris Klein. We might have to bring this on the show.
Chris Klein, that's what it is.
Oh my God, Rollerball remake, Dragonheart 2.
Would you be willing to come back for a Rollerball remake, Dragonheart 2 session?
We'll definitely Rollerball the remake. We'll find out about that. Let's put the pin back in that Dragonheart grenade for now.
I'm not ready to ruin one of my favorite movies like that.
Yeah, I don't want to get destroyed by the sequels.
So you're smarter than your brother, who immediately agreed to talking Figgy Pondo with no questions at all.
I didn't think you'd actually make me do it.
Yeah, and they complained the entire episode. He's like, I can't believe we're actually doing this.
It was good though.
No,
Mixed nuts every year now.
It was a great episode. It was so fun.
I get to the end of Rollerball and I go, it was Vietnam all along, wasn't it? Because it is 1975, so
I don't know.
War is over. See how useless this is? All of us killing each other for no reason, for sport.
I will say I absolutely loved the Rollerball sequences. Like,
hard to shoot action scenes like that too.
So because like you were talking about there, Cliff, with the being filmed in that circular arena, that was part of the old German Olympic Village.
Yeah.
And so they had a whole bunch of like skilled Germans who had just got done shooting the Olympics. And so they just hired the German cinematographer teams who did all the speed events. So that's how they were able to get so much in frame. And let me tell you something, it looks awesome. Like I am impressed beyond belief at like how much they were able to capture in camera and just how kinetic and how it's truly impressive that you never really lose sight of what's going on. Sometimes when they relaunch the ball at the beginning, I was like, why are they doing that? But other than that,
sometimes it's a little disjointed, but it's that old school action where, it's that old action where the way they're shooting it, they're giving, that you're getting pieces, that you're this piece and then this piece and then this piece. And that there are pieces in between that you're not getting and you don't need them.
Right.
The action nowadays, like the John Wick stuff, they would do that shit from beginning to end all the way through and it would look completely different. And I kind of prefer this method. I kind of like this older way of shooting the action. I think it, like you said, it's more visceral and kinetic. Like I think I'm willing to bet we're going to watch this Rollerball remake and it's going to be more like live action now and it's going to fucking suck.
Yeah, I wonder, that one was made before like the shaky cam was heavy, so I don't remember it being too shaky, but I wonder if they go through the rules of the game in the remake. Because they don't tell you in this one. I think it's purposely to keep it kind of vague, but I bet you in the remake they're probably like, and then this happens and the pinball shoots out and the blah blah and it's like that's my guess, but we'll see, I bet they have inline skates in that one too.
Probably they probably have lights. Do they have lights on them? There's an image.
God, I hope so.
Do they glow as they skate? That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, it looks like you know what it looks like? Oh my God, I just saw a picture. It looks like it's all lit up and shit. It looks like oh no, it looks like the circus.
Oh, well, they wanted it to look like the Circus Maximus. He says so several times in the commentary. And even the way they come out is like a chariot, Oh my God, this is
they're gladiators essentially.
Oh yeah, it's inline skates and they mixed in extreme sports with it.
They're on the glass. They're on the glass. Are you kidding me?
They're on the glass.
That is not.
We have to bring this on the show.
Oh my God.
What is
happening?
Yes.
All right, but back to the original one. Because this is giving me, there is one image here of them on the glass that is, my brain is melting. I don't know how fast you have to move. Oh my God. What is this? One guy looks like the comedian. What is this? All right, I gotta close that tab. All right. But yeah, so I absolutely enamored with the kinetic, because even the first event is not that violent.
No,
it's kind of like stylized motor hockey or something along those lines.
No worse than a football game.
Yeah, no, and that was kind of the point, and I really enjoyed that. And then, unfortunately, the rest of the movie kind of happens.
And then there's an hour and a half after.
Yeah, there's still so much.
Quit. Why?
I won't. I'll never tell.
Sequence and repeat for 2 hours.
Because we want you to quit. Why? Because we want you to quit.
Because you're gonna win the whole game, and people are gonna revolt because they realize. Well, I don't know. Maybe that was my headcanon.
Wasn't it enough that I gave you my wife? Is that not good enough? Like,
yeah, no kidding.
There's a lot of Bond people in this. Maud Adams.
Yep.
Maud Adams. Yep.
There's a couple other people as well. The dude from Star Wars, right? Who always tells Darth Vader, "Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed." I never see him in another movie.
He's the henchman. He's John Gielgud's henchman, right? And then
John Houseman.
The girl, the first brunette girlfriend that he's got, she's the princess, the evil princess from Buck Rogers.
Ah, wow, really?
From back in the day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Norman was saying in the director's commentary that all the women had kind of like supermodel aesthetics, because he was like, if you're that far in the future, this is just what you're going to look like. Like, you'll have the technology to look almost exactly however you want.
As beautiful as you want.
Yeah.
Well, that's where
surgery
we're heading.
You're looking beautiful or whatever.
Keep me young.
Well, and bringing it up though, it's like this film is. I don't normally point this shit out because it's just not my thing to do, because I think we cover it pretty much in other ways. But this film is fucking misogynistic as fuck. Like, I mean, there are a lot of films out there that you can kind of point at, but not a woman in this film has any agency of her own at all. None. No,
they're trophies. These
women
rewards.
They're trophies. They're props.
Well, we just see the elites, so they're all kind of like shithead assholes.
Even the one girl that is actually helpful is she just is kind of dumb, and she's happy to be dumb.
Right.
She has no questioning of her own self, her agency, her position. The girl in the libraries talk about the books and shit, where she's just like, I don't know, they've all been just summarized, and I guess you could go over here. It's a real nice place. You could go visit that. And she's just completely.
Are they trying to say like society would be in their dystopian future like that?
I think so. It's just
passive,
front facing only. Just front facing only.
We just care about rollerball. Yeah.
It's a classic way to look that the 60s and the 70s looked at the future. Like I mean, if you think back to A Boy and His Dog.
Yeah, right. I was going to say that one.
Very much like that too, right? Like there's just
or Zardoz
in the future,
again, yeah.
Yeah, Zardoz. In the future, these 60s and 70s sci-fi movies, it's bleak for women. It's very fucking bleak for women. There aren't a lot of great roles for women in the future in these movies.
And the guys are all stupid too. I mean,
they are.
They're just running around shooting shit with that gun, and it's like, what was that all about? We're gonna light all of these trees on fire.
God. All right. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was watching it and I was like, this whole thing needs to be cut. And the only reason it's in there is because Norman says he views trees in nature as something to be revered, and he thought these people wouldn't care about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, buddy, just Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, pal.
Yeah. Yeah, save that for the director's cut, my brother.
Yeah, cut 20 to 30 minutes out of this movie minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That whole party sequence, not only is it just terrible, we're not really learning new information we couldn't have already figured out. It won't end. And you're right, we get that montage that is just it is hard to look at.
It's fun. It takes forever. It's really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. There's a line in the movie that says even the corporate wars are a thing of the past. And my note is that's almost at the inflection point where we are in our current timeline. Give it 50 to 75 years. It's very William Gibson. If you've read any of the Sprawl series or any of William Gibson, he talks a lot about how basically corporations are like their own states. They have massive, massive tracts of land, and the people who work for them never fucking leave the compounds. Right. Because they have shopping, they have doctors, they have everything that you could ever fucking need. So why bother to leave? Right. And so it's a weird statement. And it kind of struck me of like, oh, that's that dystopian corporate owned future that a lot of people are, I mean, shit, it feels like we're heading that way now. And honestly,
yeah, because that was the other thing too. So it's like, excuse me. It's there's what are we to believe? There's the one monolithic company, and each team plays for a separate sector of that company. And I was like, that's interesting. I feel like you could have probably done a better job explaining it. But what it reminds me of is almost something like you would see in like Warhammer 40K or something like that, where you have like specific planets for specific things. But by focusing so solely on, and I know they have a modest budget and they can't really expand on it. Something like this could almost work better as like, I wouldn't say like a TV show, but maybe like an anime or something where you could.
TV show would be good.
Stretch it out.
Really world build the shit out of it. Yeah,
that's what this is missing for me, is really the world building and why I should care. And the dialogue doesn't help. James Caan's like, you were joking earlier, like you gotta retire. Why? Because. Yeah, but why? Like, if anything, him winning and then offering him like a cushy deal as like the coach or something, because that's what we do with sports stars now, because they're good for the franchise, But I just like, and then all that line where they're sitting there on the couches, and he essentially is like, I think there's a conspiracy against me. Well, why would you think that? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't understand. I think you're paranoid, buddy.
Yeah, stop taking those Altoids. They're rotting your brain. No word from our sponsor, Altoids.
Corporate society takes care of everything, and all it asks of you is that you don't fucking ask any questions.
Yeah,
that's it.
Gee, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Rollerball remake.
Yeah, Rollerball remake.
Rollerball remake, 98 minutes. So they knew about brevity in that one. So.
Yeah, they focus on the rollerball in that one.
And 5 minutes of that is LL Cool J rapping.
It better be.
I hope so.
Wheels be rolling, head like a shark's fin. Wrong movie, Eldo. You remember that rap at the end of Deep Blue Sea? If he doesn't rap in Rollerball, I'm going to be really mad.
Yeah, that better end with a rap song.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But if they could get rid of that scene in the mansion, because I really hated that. You can keep him going to Geneva and trying to learn more. I think that's interesting. And we learn a little bit more about world building and a little bit more about his character. And it's also a little silly, like when he goes to sit down and the scientist stands right back up.
Oh, I like that part.
Yeah, you got to have some brevity. So I'm fine with that. And
I like that. I like that visit that he does. I think it's almost like visiting the wizard, right? Like it's weird and kind of out of place and funny and kind of cool.
Like a Star Trek episode for a second.
You learn the heartbeat of it all, but it's all it's truly at the heartbeat of it all broken.
Right.
Like it's truly in the center of it broken. Which is I like that. I thought that was really that piece was really fucking well done. I like that.
70s.
Yeah.
Very 70s. Speaking of which, what's also very 70s is the you mentioned that party that goes on forever. It's like it reminded me of like a fucking key party.
It was.
Right? Where we're here to fucking cuck ourselves and swap wives or girls or whatever fucking this is, and it is weird.
Moonpie literally just walks up to that girl and they walk away. He's like, I got a poem for you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thanks, guys.
And later, they're all just passed out in the living room. Like, is this an asexual future? I can't tell.
All they enjoy are popping pills and watching Rollerball. They have no need for the physical connection anymore. Except James Caan when he gets back together with his ex-wife.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's like Demolition Man, and they just put the little headsets on.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so much of the world that just doesn't get built out. I mean, even now that I'm thinking about it, you nailed it when you said they don't really even explain what Rollerball is. It's meant to be vague. Mm-hmm. The rest of the world can't be.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You need to have some context for why Rollerball is the way it is.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me the rules, but you need to show me its impact. Like, movie did a really good job of this. The Running Man. The Running Man shows you why the Running Man is important to that world. We see it. So Rollerball doesn't show us. Or tell us even. It's
also, we haven't talked about this yet, but one of the things that really lets the film down is its fucking sound design. It's terrible.
Oh yeah.
Like they use a lot of, rather than creating their own crowd noises, they use a lot of like crowd noises from college games and different college games. And the way it's blended in is god awful. The dialogue is sometimes soft. The crowd is loud, or vice versa. The special effects sounds are just bad. It's just not good dialogue. I mean, when you just get to the dialogue parts, it's fine. You can kind of hear that stuff and it works fine. But anything else that has to be mixed in starts to be pretty bad. Yeah. And Gilga, or the paper chase dude, I think that's Gilga.
John Houseman.
Sorry. He's talking so low that you have trouble even hearing the guy at times, right? It's like, damn, the sound really lets the movie down.
It gets mentioned in the commentary that when they could use the sound, like they wanted you to think like, oh, the camera is going to be like our ears. So you won't be able to hear the guy from far away because you wouldn't be able to there. I was like, well, it's a movie. And again, there's almost no audio during the Rollerball sequences because you could never accurately capture the audio at that time. So even like the dialogue being all like, done in post and, so I forgive it a little bit, but what I don't forgive is you've remastered it now and you still can't get your balance levels right. Like, I should not be like turning the volume up to hear what you're saying, and then somebody hits something, and now I'm like, oh, great.
It's one of those. It's exactly one of those movies where you're riding the volume up and down because you're like, okay, here we go, loud crowd sequence. Oh, people are talking again.
Yep, and that's exactly what I did, and it's 2 hours of riding the remote.
Yeah, it's really annoying, and yeah, you're right, especially with the remaster. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the original Escape from New York. Escape from New York has that problem. And this is a B-level Carpenter movie. I forgive that because it's a great film. It has a great premise. It's doing all these cool things, but it's still a B-level movie. We know it didn't have the budget. This thing had $6 million in 1975 and it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
Sound tech back then, but you're right. They should be able to give us a better,
clean it up just a bit.
Use that AI and separate those audio tracks. I'll make Cliff happy.
There you go. This won a BAFTA award, for fuck's sakes. Best science fiction film.
I think you mispronounced baffling award.
Oh, best art direction. Okay, I might go for best art direction. Like, I liked the look of the film.
Oh yeah,
I definitely liked the aesthetic of the film. I thought, all these cool buildings they shot in, these
the
different
BMW
designs.
one in Germany.
Yep. It looked futuristic. It was very cool in that respect. I really give it credit there.
Yeah. And again, I can't take away from how much I enjoyed all 3 of the rollerball sequences. I captivated by them, especially as the violence continued to increase. Well paced. Just you see the escalation of stakes, tension, violence, and I didn't really notice this, but there's not really that much blood. I mean, there's that scene at the end and the last one where like the body kind of skates down, goes down. But other than that, it's pretty much like contusions and blunt force trauma and a couple scrapes and cuts, but it's not as incredibly violent as you would expect people slamming, bikes into each other to be.
Its reputation precedes it.
Yeah, it's true. I think the most shocking blood portion is where he drags the glove across her cheek and she bleeds. That's to me is the most kind of shocking blood moment where I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. But the Tokyo game is my favorite out of all 3 games. I love the Tokyo game. I love I love the fans. I just love the whole game. I thought it was awesome. I love how the Tokyo guys were just tough as shit and were taking dudes out, and they weren't fucking around either. And it was a good game. Because
Moon Pie makes fun of them earlier. It's like they're small
he's
guys
going down. I'm like, well, he's going to be the first one to go.
Well, he made fun of him. So in terms of how you would write that, you have the guy who says, I'm so big, there's no way 3 guys can take me. And then he gets taken out by 3 guys.
That's right. And like we talked about, this movie is way too long. Like it takes forever to get from Moon Pie in the hospital to his wife showing up to continue to try and convince him to quit. Like that is 25 minutes, I think, or 20 minutes where you're just like, dude, just compress that. What are you doing? Come out of the hospital, do your thing, tell the girl to fuck off, have the wife show up, keep the movie moving. Why are we dragging this out? Whew.
Yeah, I thought the movie was going to end. It was like in Dragonheart. I'm like, oh, they shot the king. The movie's going to end, right? There's 20 more minutes. What? We got to wrap up the rest of the story. I'm like,
the 20 best minutes, I think you meant to say.
Well, you might be on something there, actually.
But
they're long. They're long.
Yeah, I was, because just even in terms of how like you fix this movie, because I do think, with Dragonheart, I think what we have is probably what would be stuck with. Maybe you could tease out some other scenes, replace actors and stuff. But with Rollerball, I think we could just even edit around what they have. I think we eliminate the that whole key party, right? I think we compress the time, like you were saying. I think because I don't remember, does he go to Geneva before or after the ex-wife?
Before.
I think so, because to me it would make more sense.
He goes to Geneva with Moon Pie.
No, after Moon Pie gets hurt, and
my bad.
He goes afterwards, right? So for me, it would have made more sense for her to be sent to him to really have the scales fall from his eyes. That's what sends him to Geneva, and then have him be like, okay, well now I'm definitely going to win this thing. So like, I know I get in trouble a lot when I talk to other people about these things. They're like, well, that's not what they wanted to do, and I'm like, well. Yeah, you're right. And I am kind of rewriting parts of the movie, but I just think in terms of narrative, I guess you could say him realizing his wife is a prize is a big push to win as well, but I don't know.
If the movie was good enough, we wouldn't want to rewrite it. I have no intention of trying to rewrite Raiders because it's good. So tells you we want to fix it. I this movie comes out 2 years after Westworld, and to me, these are 2 of the more kind of uniquely scientific kind of sci-fi movies of the 70s that really stood out. Big budget kind of shots, right? You get a lot of other stuff. 70s was really cool for their wonky sci-fi. They did a lot of cool shit. But these 2 kind of stand out to me, especially. But yeah, I agree. Too long, and it needs some help. It needs some love.
Needs some scissors.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Needs Uncle Joey from Full House. Cut it out.
Oh my.
God.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going way back with that one. So Kurt Russell's longtime stunt double was in this movie. A person we met, Cliff, Dick Warlock. I saw his name in the credits. I'm like, holy shit, there he is in another movie. Man, that guy did a lot of stunt work back in the day. But he's also in Escape from New York, as you were talking about earlier.
This movie had so much stunt work that actually it was one of the very first movies to credit stuntmen, to give them credits and credit them in the film by name, which I thought was pretty cool.
Well, they earned it. They definitely earned it.
Those, like I said, like we talked about, those Rollerball sequels. And again, if those Rollerball sequels were weak, this movie would be even. God,
we wouldn't be talking about
worse
it right now.
Yeah, those Rollerball sequels really hold up.
Yeah. I would make you watch it as penance for insulting Dragonheart, as opposed to
well, Dragonheart was its own penance.
You think it's bad? You just wait till Dragonheart 2.
I can't wait. I'm telling you,
Revenge of the Dragonheart. Like
Rollerball remake Dragonheart 2. It's got to happen.
Well,
we can do that.
If you had to watch Mazes and Monsters or Dragonheart right now, Cliff, which one?
Dragonheart, probably.
There we go. What about
not by much?
What about against Fool's Paradise?
Fool's Paradise.
Ooh. What about Blake Edwards 10?
10.
Okay. Oh, here's a good one. This just got inducted into the National Film Registry, and you gave it a 1.5. Before Sunrise.
Oh no, I'd rather watch Dragonheart.
You rather watch Dragonheart?
Yeah.
What about?
Well, I almost texted you while I was watching it. I'd almost prefer watching Before Midnight. Like I came really close, but I was like, no, I'd rather watch Dragonheart.
Okay. Well, at least there are some things that you would rather watch. So, okay.
Dragonheart 2 is called Dragonheart: A New Beginning.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to.
It's about an orphan stable boy who befriends a young dragon named Drake, and with the help of others, they help him learn how to fly and fight and protect himself from a ruthless knight.
They train their dragon.
Yeah.
Train
their dragon.
I still think that's a metaphor for masturbation.
How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what is Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon? Because I thought too confusing.
Super cut them together.
Oh shit. 2 stars.
Okay.
I can't give it more than that. It's not something I'll put on and watch again. I have a really, really great copy of it, but I just don't know why.
Was your idea.
I know.
Well, to be fair, I was given 3 options and I picked this one too. So both are my fault today. So you got to take responsibility for your mistakes, Derek.
That's right.
Sorry.
I'll give it a 2 as well. Yeah.
Derek, what about you?
Yeah, I think 2 is like dead on accurate. It's just on the strength of Rollerball, like the sequences.
It's like you talked about.
And
if they had cut
really very
20 minutes out of this movie, 20 minutes, and given me a little more world building, tell me more about these corporations and the structure and how they control this game and how they can and why is it okay for an executive just to say, I want your wife, thanks, to the greatest rollerballer of all time? Like, this is a power structure thing. Tell me about it a little bit.
Yeah, like he should, like, because they keep talking about how you do things to get privileges, right? James Caan should be the one with privileges. He should have some modicum of it, or like if he's that replaceable, never let him get that powerful. Because I don't know, it's just they don't explain enough. So it's like I'm stuck doing like headcanon things and like in my own head rewrites, and I had to sit through it for like 2 hours twice. And I didn't have to, but I did. And you take a look at, like, I'm looking up right now, the 87 Schwarzenegger Running Man is 1 hour and 41 minutes, so it's already shorter. And to be honest, that could probably be trimmed up a little bit too. But I already know more about the world. I know more about the character. I know nothing about James Caan, like at all. We have like no introduction.
It reminds me a little bit of the Hunger Games too, right? This whole idea of competing to get privilege or to, in a society where you have to compete or you have to, play some sort of game to get privileges. But even in that movie, a little bit more about the world and how it's created. And that's a movie for kids. That's a young adult film.
Oh, it came from books. So
right. But even then they got enough world building. This is from a short story from Esquire magazine. Yeah. Variety or Esquire. Yeah.
Variety or Esquire.
So, I mean, it had a writer who had some sort of headcanon of what world he was, I usually have some sort of idea of the world I'm writing in if I'm writing.
Well, come on, remake. We're counting on you to have all this in you.
Let's go. Come on. That's right.
Answer these questions.
Save us, Chris
TikTok
Klein.
wars are over.
Right.
Oh God, 3.2 stars on IMDb. Okay,
And
I know,
streaming on
that's going to be our
Hulu.
punishment. That'll be our punishment. Derek, thanks so much for coming on, man. It was a blast.
Good one.
Like, yeah, it was good.
Oh, thanks for having
good
me.
insight. You could tell you really paid attention and really watched these movies. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
I try because I do love watching movies, and like I said, there are certain aspects of it's like when I watch it, like the world building, character setup, and payoffs. Like I know it's not super easy, otherwise everyone would do it. But when I watch a movie like Rollerball, where I have no idea what's happening, world building wise, it's kind of hard for me to, forgive it. Except if you give me excellent rollerball sequences, so get 2 stars off that. Dragonheart is pure nostalgia, right in the sweet spot for me. So I know it's not a great movie.
Well, and we apologize that we had to kind of put it over the coals, but I've unfortunately had to taken a couple of Marty's favorites to task, and he's done the same to me. There's no punches pulled on this podcast. None. Yeah. Well, maybe we put some soft gloves on when we punch you. Maybe.
When there's always 2 more movies next week, so
That's right. You guys want to get out of here on a quote?
Mm-hmm.
What you got for us, Derek?
All right. Mine's going to come from Rollerball because, for as flawed as it was, they do kind of hit the nail on the head where James Caan's ex-wife says, "But comfort is freedom. It always has been. The whole history of civilization is a struggle against poverty and need." And then Jonathan goes, no, that's not it. That's never been it. The privileges just buy us off. And I feel that's pretty apropos for some aspects of society. I won't get too political, but if you expect to be taken care of, you'll never have the skills to take care of yourself.
Marty?
Sweet dreams, Moon Pie.
I love this game. Woo! See you guys.
3 for 3 on Rollerball.
Oh man, that was so good. All right, let's get out of here, guys. I think I had one more. What was it? It was "No one is above the code." There you go. One from Dragonheart for you.
I was gonna say I am the last dragon.